What's going on YouTube? Flashy here, and welcome back to another Mortal Kombat 11 video. Today we're going to be going over my Kombat Pack 3 wish list. So it kind of seems like we're getting to that point now in kind of the NetherRealm cycle where we're due for something, right? We don't really know what it is, whether it's a big patch, whether it's going to be all new characters, but a lot of people have been talking about a Kombat Pack 3. Of course, if you're into leaks and stuff like that, there's plenty of that to go around in terms of the new DLC characters. But I get the question all the time of what characters do I want to see in the game? So I thought it would be really fun to put this little list together. I don't really have a script or anything like that. I have the characters that I want to talk about, and I have maybe some like bullet points for them. But other than that, this is kind of just going to be me sitting here going over what characters I really want to see in MK11. So let's just get started. I have 4 characters here from the MK universe, and then I have 1 guest character because, as we know, in typical NRS fashion, we usually tend to get a guest character in like the big combat packs. So our first character, or should I say characters up, is Sector and Cyrax. I think everybody at this point is like, okay, why are these characters not in the game yet? They are literally in the story mode. You fight against them, you play against them, they have moves, they have models, like they're there, they're in the game. Why can't we play as them yet? So I definitely think they're planning something with the robots, but I think first up on the list should definitely be Sector and Cyrax. I think that these characters could act like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Injustice 2. If you guys have been following the channel, I've been playing a bunch of that game. And what you can do with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is they're 4 characters in one. And the way you kind of get the moveset of the one you want is you change the weapon. So based on which weapon gear you choose, you get that character's moveset. So for example, if you choose bombs, you get Cyrax. If you choose a wrist rocket customization, you get Sector's moves. And I think that would be a really, really cool way to incorporate multiple characters into one. They've already done it. They've already done it successfully. I think it would fit MK11 really, really well. You know, if you choose the wrist rocket, there's a couple different wrist rockets you can pick from. You know, of course, with the customization, there's a bunch of different things there. And you get Sector. He turns red, or he turns a variation of the red. Whatever the case is, I'm sure they'd figure out a really, really cool way to do it. And then, of course, like I said, if you choose bombs and you customize the bombs, you get Cyrax when you pick that variation. And of course, there's multiple variations you can have. I don't know how many you can have, but I know you can have a bunch of custom variations. So to be able to just pick which character you want on the fly, I think that would work really, really well. Also, a little tidbit here. I think that what would be really cool is a Cyber Sub-Zero skin pre-order bonus. So not Cyber Sub-Zero completely as a character. I think just having Sector and Cyrax would be cool enough. But if Sub-Zero could get a Cyber Sub skin, I think that would be awesome. You know, just to kind of add a little bit more to the game. You know, not just 2 characters. Now you have Sub-Zero and you can play him completely different. Maybe have his moves be different. You know, anytime we've seen Cyber Sub-Zero, the ice ball comes out of his chest. His slide looks a little different. His moves look a little bit different. I think just adding that to regular Sub-Zero's gameplay, just for pre-ordering the Kombat Pack or whatever, or pre-ordering Sector and Cyrax, I think that would be a really, really cool way to tie in old characters as well as bring in the fresh 2 new characters of Sector and Cyrax. Now, moving on to the next character is Ermac, one of my all-time favorite Mortal Kombat characters. What do I say about this character? Why is he not in this game is what I have to say about it. He is everywhere except as a playable character. He's dead in the crypt. You could play as Shang Tsung, and you get to use Ermac. Literally, you use Ermac's lift. He's got a model. He's got a move. Like, he's in the game with a move, you know? He's got the old school, like, classic MK skin. When you switch into Ermac when you're playing Shang Tsung, he switches into that classic red Ermac, and it looks so good. And then, of course, he's got his brand new look, where if you find him in the crypt hanging upside down dead, you get to see his brand new style, and I think both look absolutely amazing in this game. So to have him as a playable character would be awesome. Ermac is such a sick character, and especially with how good the graphics and the moves and fatal blows and brutalities look in MK11, I think Ermac would shine. Like, Rain looks absolutely amazing. So now if we take that to the next level with Ermac and his soul moves, the lime green, the red outfit, and everything like that, it would look so good. So now in terms of, you know, what could his gear be, or what would his weapon be? Because MK11 is very, very weapon focused. We've seen Ermac previously wielding an axe. So I don't remember what game, maybe Deception or Armageddon or something, when there was like a weapon stance. He was wielding just a regular axe. I don't think they would bring that back really, because I mean, having Ermac and an axe doesn't really make any sense. It just doesn't look right. But what I think they could probably do is something a bit cooler, where maybe he has soul weapons, where he conjures different types of weapons based on his different attacks. We've kind of seen this with Spawn. Spawn conjures up different weapons based on what you're doing, whether it's a throw, whether it's one of his special moves or anything like that. So the opportunity of wielding different weapons is there. And in terms of how to customize this, I mean, Injustice 2 did this really well, where you could customize Sub-Zero's weapon. And every single time he used the axe axe or whatever it was at the time, the hammer, it would change. I'm kind of jumping around to a bunch of different games here, but essentially what I'm saying is I think Ermac, if he had like a soul weapon, that would be really, really cool, where it could be a sword, it could be a hammer, it could be whatever it is that he decides to conjure up with his soul powers. So I think Ermac has a lot of potential. Again, classic Ermac lift, teleports, teleport punches, things like that. Everything we've seen Ermac do, just amplified because it's now MK11 and the game just looks so crisp. The graphics are unbelievable, and just seeing Ermac in this game as a full playable character, complete move list, custom variations, all his own brutalities and everything like that, I think it would just be absolutely awesome. So Ermac definitely takes one of the higher spots on this list. And then in terms of his other gear, I mean, of course you have the skins. He could have his classic skins, his brand new look, some throwback to MKX or MK9 look, you know, with the bandages and things like that. Ermac has had so many different variations of him that, you know, the skins opportunity is endless. And then gear, you know, you could do his mask, you could do his soul weapons, you could do his gauntlets, like really simple things like that. And I think it would go a really long way to have Ermac in this game. But next up, now we have one of my other all-time favorite MK Universe characters. We have Kenshi. Now, Kenshi, to me, I don't know why, but I love this character. I think he is so badass. I think he's absolutely awesome. The blind swordsman who also wields spirit powers. I mean, the dude is just awesome. He's been so cool and so fun to play in every version of MK that he's been in, especially in MKX. I mean, they absolutely nailed Kenshi in MKX. And there was even a point where one of the Kenshi variations was just completely busted, especially in tournaments back in the MKX days. But that's neither here nor there. I think Kenshi in this game would look so good. Again, another character that's in the game, but he's just dead and we can't play him. He's in the crypt. He's dead. You get to use his blindfold in the crypt, but yeah, he's dead, and it makes me really sad because we don't get to play as him. The way that his gear would work, that I would be able to see that happening, is obviously his blindfold is one of like the most iconic pieces of Kenshi. So blindfold would definitely be one of the gear pieces, maybe like a chest piece or something for the middle. And then of course his sword. He is the blind swordsman, so you got to have the blindfold and the sword be customizable. And I think that would all come together to make a really, really sick character. And furthermore, we've seen in MKX that he has possessed Kenshi, where all of his moves kind of change. And, you know, his spirit attacks, quote unquote, end up being like a possessed demon coming down and doing the attacks instead. So I think it would be really cool if you incorporate that into his skins. You know, we see Cetrion, based on her skins, which one you pick, her moves actually change colors based on what skin you're using. And I think that's really, really awesome. I love when they do that. I know Raiden has that as well. He's got like 4 different lightning colors now. I believe it's yellow, green, and then the classic red and blue. When they incorporate changing the way the moves look based on the skin, I think it just takes it to the next level. And that's what makes the skins in this game, or in any game, really, really awesome, and just kind of make you want them that much more, because now they're not just changing how your character looks, it's changing how the moves look and all that. So if you could get a Kenshi, like there's a possessed Kenshi skin line, right, where all of his moves that involve the spirit attacks are now like a demon spirit, and you know there's good guy Kenshi, right, where he's got that light blue spirit that comes out and fights. I think that would be really, really awesome. And he also could have a really good combination of zoning and up close mix with the sword play. So I think he would kind of fit the meta of MK11 really well, and you could kind of build out his custom variation where you want more of a zoner Kenshi that fights with his spirit, or do you want like an up close like Robin from Injustice 2 style Kenshi. And now finally we have my last MK Universe character, my all-time favorite MK character, next to Scorpion. Big asterisk next to Scorpion. I absolutely love Scorpion, but this is a very close second. I would even call it like a 1.5 in terms of all my favorite MK characters. Human Smoke. Oh, I would love to have Smoke in this game. Again, we have Smoke in Shang Tsung. He only has one move in the entire game, and that is a smoke shake with Shang Tsung. But oh my goodness, to have Smoke in this game would be awesome. The smoke effects would look so good in MK11 in this engine. I think having Human Smoke would be such a good way to just kind of complete the whole roster, right? If you get, we have Rain, we have Scorpion, we have Sub-Zero, we got Noob. Bringing in Ermac and Human Smoke to just kind of round out the classic ninjas. I know I haven't talked about Reptile. I would call him an honorary mention, but Ermac and Human Smoke kind of take it for me when it comes to the classic ninjas. He could have his smoke port, which he would just be all over the screen. He would be phasing through the opponent. He would be phasing backwards to keep himself safe. I mean, there's just so much that's possible when you get to play as Smoke. In the past, we've seen Smoke with a rope with a kunai as his weapon. I think that could work. You know, we've always kind of seen him with a spear. He kind of was like, back in the day in the arcade, he was just kind of like the Scorpion clone. So he literally had all of Scorpion's moves, his spear moves and stuff like that. But I think to kind of amp that up and take it to the next level, a really sick like rope with kunai, I think that would be really cool. You know, you get to customize the kunai blade at the end. Maybe some sort of dagger as his weapon will work well. Also, because you smoke, you know, smoke port through your opponent, you end up right behind them, you do some sick dagger move, and then, yeah, you just keep moving on from there. I think that would be sick. Most of his gear would probably be like the mask, and the gauntlets or the chest piece or the shoulder, like with Rain. But then, of course, like I said, like if they were to give him a rope with kunai, I think that would be really, really cool. He could get some awesome moves and they could get so crazy with Human Smoke, because we haven't seen Smoke since, or Human Smoke actually, we haven't seen him since MK9. We did have Triborg, which did have Smoke in it, but I want more, you know. I think having a fully fleshed out character, not a character sharing a moveset with 3 other characters, like fully fleshed out, entire combo attack strings, customizable variations. Human Smoke would be absolutely awesome. Of course, the Smoke Bomb, the Smoke Port, kunai moves, up close and personal moves, like he could just be all over the stage and he would be so crazy to deal with. And then when he gets up close, he's just an absolute like menace to deal with. I think having Human Smoke in MK11 is my #1 dream. Again, we do have him in Shang Tsung as a move, but I want a full character of Human Smoke, all customization, different skins, the long silver hair. Like, give me all of that and I'll be happy. And now to round out my Kombat Pack 3 wishlist with the guest character. I put off making this video because I just really couldn't think of a guest character that would fit and makes a lot of sense, if that makes sense. But I was playing a lot of Injustice 2 and I was like, wait a minute, this character would be perfect. And to finish off the Kombat Pack 3 wishlist with the guest character being Scarecrow. Now, again, I never thought that I would ask for Scarecrow because, like, honestly, the most I know about Scarecrow is Injustice 2 and the original, or that one Batman movie. Like, that's it. So I never really, it's not like I know much about the Scarecrow lore or anything like that, but I was playing Injustice 2 and the guy I was playing against picked Scarecrow. And I was just like, wait a minute, this character fits perfectly in the MK universe. I mean, think about it. If they put Joker in there, we could have Scarecrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that Joker is in MK11 just shows that we could get another DC character. And I think Scarecrow is that perfect fit. He's got the dark, gritty kind of vibe to him that MK11 is good for. You know, in Injustice 2, some of his moves are borderline like, how is this move allowed in this game? Because it's only a rated T game. He's got the hook chain. He's got command grabs that like split the opponent in half. And I'm like, these are all moves that need to be brutalities, fatalities, or just regular combo attacks in an MK11 game. Like, if Scarecrow were to come over into the MK universe, oh, he would fit in so well. His gear could be his mask. There's so many different mask options in Injustice 2 that look so good for Scarecrow, and they would look even better in MK11. The other piece of gear would be his hook chain. I think that's a really, really awesome weapon that we haven't really seen much of in MK, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think we've ever seen it at all. So to have a hook chain would be sick. And then, of course, like the last piece being like boots or chest or, you know, something generic like that. But the mask and the hook chain, those custom gear could look so good, especially with a bunch of different skins. And another good thing about Scarecrow is they can build him from the ground up. He could be a port from Injustice 2, which would be fine, because again, a lot of those moves look like they belong in an MK game. Or they could just build him from the ground up, because it's the first time he's in an MK game. They could really just flush him out and do whatever they want with him. They could give him really good range because he's got that hook chain that reaches across the map. There's a lot of potential for command grabs. There's so many different custom variation options that could work. He's got the teleport. You could do 50-50 mix-ups with overhead hook hits, you know, low hook grabs and stuff like that. He's got the range. He's got teleports. He's got the gas that they can incorporate. Like, there is just so much to Scarecrow that looks like it fits almost too perfectly in MK11. But that about wraps up my Kombat Pack 3 wishlist. That was 4 characters. Again, we got Sector and Cyrax. We got Ermac, Kenshi, Human Smoke, and the guest character being Scarecrow. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Also, let me know in the comments what your guys' Kombat Pack 3 wishlist is. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you all in the next one.